every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is November 26th, YC126, and this is the Eve Universe Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Settle on in. Like the stream. I've got a puppy on my lap, so I wasn't able to go get coffee during the pre-show, so let's see how that works out. But thank you all for showing up, and all of you who are chatting in the chat before the stream began. Gary, glad to be able to answer your questions. And Tom, glad to be continuing to do the Eve Galaxy Conquest stuff with you. Peck, 07 to you. How's it going? Saluted with the wrong hand, but that's because, again, I've got a puppy on this arm of my lap. Hey, Punch. On 30, the big guys of Galente's side joined the big of Amar, so no good on Caldari. Yeah, I'm on quite a few different servers. Just to check out different starts and see whether or not I can ever get lucky. The answer is no. Deathless becomes Concord compliant. We'll see about that. All right, today we do have quite a bit of news to go over. I do want to say before we jump too deep into it, this could be my last stream of the week. Obviously, this is American Thanksgiving this week. However, I probably am going to be staying home for Thanksgiving this week because I don't want to try to bring my puppy to a Thanksgiving dinner. So there's a decent enough chance that we might be streaming on Thursday, but no promises is basically what it boils down to. Let me know if you're interested or if there's anything that you want me to check out during that time. However, we do have a lot of stuff to cover today. We've got patch notes in both Eve and Vanguard. I would argue that today's patch is almost as large, if not larger, than the Revenant expansion patch from 2 weeks ago. Obviously, Revenant, with a lot of Eve expansions, they kind of get released over the course of a little while. So this is just more of Revenant. But it really feels like the rest of Revenant came out today. So we're going to be looking at that, as well as the Vanguard. The next stage for Vanguard happens or starts this weekend, and we now have patch notes for that to go over, and a New Eden news. So earlier today, I did release the previous New Eden news from last week to live to everybody. It was live to my members as of yesterday when I edited it. If you want to get your videos early, you can become a member for just $1 a month. There are other options as well, of course, and you get all those cool emotes and other stuff, and you get to have it be in the supporters channel on the Discord and all that fancy stuff. And of course, my utmost appreciation for all of for my ability to be able to do this, thanks to all of my supporters and members and patrons. So to begin, how you guys doing? No. To begin, Shape the Chaos Revenant updates. So today is the big update for Revenant that we have been waiting for since the release of Revenant. By the way, guys, I do have in my cargo, I am set up right now. We have a Legion. We have my Legion. I've got my Filaments. And I've got 2 more Mercenary Dens. So if we have the opportunity, we will definitely be yeeting into Nullsec, setting up some other Mercenary Dens and seeing how that plays out. But before that, let's go ahead and jump into the update. Tactical Capsuleers, the Revenant expansion surges ahead with new additions to Mercenary Dens, including mercenary tactical operations, new balancing and quality of life changes, and an urgent call to arms ringing out across New Eden to defend important Deathless arrays. Insurgency deployments are coming to Eve Vanguard, and Winter Nexus is fast approaching. Now, a lot of this stuff is the stuff that we covered last episode when we were looking at the Hobaleak stuff, But one of the things I really like about the patch notes this time is that they give extensive explanations as to why they do all the different changes. So very useful. We got some confirmation to some of my guesses as to why they're doing things, and other information. Since the launch of Revenant, Capsuleers have been hard at work at constructing and destroying mercenary dens all over nullsec space. Today, mercenary tactical operations have been introduced to these dens, enabling Capsuleers to seize control of their system's destiny. Upwell has lobbied for a crackdown on the transportation of encrypted infomorphs of workers in breach of their work contract, but the Deathless Circle has found a way to remotely transmit infomorph applicants through infomorph decryption keys, unlocking the same kind of remote consciousness that Capsuleers use when they die. The production of these keys can be further stimulated through mercenary site activity, and they can be delivered to the Deathless for handsome rewards. Dive into MTOs today to drive development and reduce anarchy by completing operations, boosting production of infomorph decryption keys that can be traded for valuable rewards, and eliminating potential workforce disruption. This functionality elevates mercenary dens into critical strategic assets, turning them into battlegrounds for those seeking to shape the future of New Eden. Prosper with or without the Deathless. In connection with the Vanguard deployment starting on the 28th of November, the Deathless Circle has deployed Trustbreaker arrays, which connect to the enigmatic Warden structure in Zarzak. These arrays scan for crucial passkeys required to breach planetary defenses, enabling Vanguard forces to claim planetary strongholds. However, the arrays are now under siege by Drifter forces, and the Deathless has issued a call to Capsuleers to intervene. From the 26th of November, that's today, until the 2nd of December, pilots can defend the arrays to earn ISK rewards or destroy them to seize passkeys as valuable commodities. These skirmishes often offer a high-stake choice: stand with the Deathless or shut their operations down. So Deathless agents will want to defend the arrays because these are Deathless Circle's Trustbreaker arrays, and anti-Deathless will want to destroy the arrays. So a little bit of a role reversal from last time where the goal was to destroy the siege equipment. What up, Ragtag? The battle intensifies on the 28th of November as war descends to the surface of in Eve Vanguard. Insurgency deployments unleash war clones on planets to directly impact the ongoing war in space. In addition, Capsuleers get daily rewards for taking flight in EVE Online between the 28th of November and 1st of December. Vanguard-themed skin design components, 3,000 Evermarks, and 50,000 skill points. Choose your allegiance, shape planetary battlefields, and leave your mark on EVE Online universe on the ground as well as among the stars. Learn more about EVE Vanguard and add the game to your Steam wish list if you don't want to miss a moment of the action. Winter Nexus returns on the 5th of December, bringing icy storms and seasonal rewards, giving you plenty of fight for across the stars. Make your winter unforgettable as you claim daily prizes and battle Sancha forces for riches and glory. So we've got a whole lineup of things, right? Starting today, we've got the new Trustbreaker sites starting in 2 days. We've got the shooter coming up. And when that all wraps up on the 1st of December, 4 days later, the Winter Nexus begins. So we're going to be pretty active for the next little bit. Not so little things. Quite a few balance changes have also been made, many based directly on your feedback for nearly all areas of space. A few ships, like the Ferox Navy issue and the EOS, were overperforming, which has been addressed by making them more engageable. Heavy assault cruisers have regained their micro-warp drive signature radius bonus to make them a bit more viable in the current meta. Awesome. And various other ships, like the Ishimu and Malas Navy issue, have been improved. This update also introduces several changes aimed specifically at mining. Resources can now be compressed through the right-click menu instead of compression window. Holy, that is a big deal. That is, I cannot believe the compression window had to exist in the first place. Exhumers and barges have had improved lock targets, and excavators are now faster. Over the war zone, changes to factional warfare and pirate insurgencies ensure some more meaningful engagements and improvement to battlefield sites, shifting the makeup of signatures, buffing deployables, and more. We're looking into all those things when we get to the patch notes. Today's release also ushers in a few little things to improve quality of life. While some little things are bigger than others, these are some of our favorite changes to make. If you have quality of life suggestions, please head over to the EVE Online forums where we'd love to hear from you. What up, Malik? All right, New Eden has been a hive of activity since the launch of Revenant, with mercenary dens, deathless ships have been deploying and destroyed. Corporations setting up ambitious projects and proudly displaying their own colors, adding new patterns and hue to the tapestry of the cluster. Oh, good. My dog's left. Now I can go make myself some coffee. Maybe in a little bit. Ow! I just banged my knee real bad. It got right in that little corner of your knee. That's like your funny bone, but in your knee, like right underneath your kneecap. That was cool. Oh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Ah. Wow, that was fun. Okay. New Eden has been a hive of activity since never mind. I don't need coffee anymore. I'm awake. New Eden has been a hive of activity since the launch of Revenant, with mercenary dens and deathless ships being deployed and destroyed. Yeah. Corporations setting up ambitious projects and proudly displaying their own colors, adding new patterns and hues to the tapestry of the cluster. So we can see here we've got 1,000 two-pattern skins sequenced, 5,334 corporation projects completed, 182 cenotaphs created with 12 destroyed, and 239 tholoses created with 16 of them destroyed, 4,090 mercenary dens deployed, 2,038 destroyed. So half of the mercenary dens have been destroyed, and a lot people have been a lot more careful with their actual deathless ships. That's a lot more deathless ships than I thought was going to be made during this period of time. They're out there somehow. It'll be interesting to see how you will use the latest opportunities and continue writing the story of New Eden. Okay. Patch notes, where the good details are. There's a lot of these indicates a change inspired by player feedback or suggestions today. Okay, mercenary dens now have 2 new attributes, anarchy and development. Both anarchy and development values will slowly increase over time, approximately 5 levels per day in 24 hours. Eventually, when the level hits a certain threshold, the anarchy or development for that mercenary den will level up, which can have certain effects. While mercenary dens is reinforced, passive anarchy and development are paused. Added a dedicated window for viewing all your mercenary dens, which can be found via the Neocom under Industry or from the Mercenary Den Agency page. Anarchy. Anarchy amount 1 through 19 is level 0. No reduction to Skyhook workforce. Anarchy from 20 to 39 is level 1. Still no reduction to Skyhook workforce. Anarchy amount 40 to 69. Nice. Level 2, 10% reduction in Skyhook workforce. Anarchy amount 70 to 99. Level 3, 20% reduction in Skyhook workforce. And Anarchy amount level 100. Level 4, 40% reduction to Skyhook workforce. So the grand total, and it sounds to me like approximately 5 levels per day. There's only 5 levels. I don't know whether or not this is saying it's going to go from 0 to 4 in 5 days, or if it's going to go from Anarchy 0 to Anarchy 5 in a day. Oh, no, here we go. This means that if left alone, it'll take 8 days for a mercenary den to start to negatively impact the Skyhook. So, wait. That doesn't... Oh, to negatively impact a Skyhook. Yes. So it's 5 units a day. So it would take... after 4 days, you're going to go from Anarchy 1 to Anarchy 0 to Anarchy 1. And then 4 days later, you're going to go from Anarchy 1 to Anarchy 2, which is the beginning of a reduction. And so it's going to take 20 days to maximize your Anarchy amount. That's a long time. They got to leave these things alone before they hit max level. Okay. Development amount. Development amount, same thing. 0 to 19, level 0, regular infomorph production rate. Development amount 20 to 40, or 39, level 1, 15% bonus to infomorph production rate. Development amount 40 to 69, nice. Level 2, 25% bonus to infomorph production rate. And development amount 70 to 99, level 3, 35% bonus to infomorph production rate. And maximum development amount of 100, level 4, 50% bonus to infomorph production rate. Approximately every 3 days, a mercenary den tactical operations will become available. Oh. Okay, so this is not a thing that I just go and do while I'm farming for my empty... Man, they really really, really are trying to make these things something that the people who live there get to play with and other people don't. But whatever. 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 MTOs are new PvE content designed for a single player and a cruiser. These sites are behind an acceleration gate that only lets in T1 and faction cruisers or any destroyers or frigates. Once an MTO has been warped in, a beacon will appear in space. I wonder if this includes like I assume that means pirates too. A beacon will appear in space and anyone can warp to, even hostile players. MTOs are very rewarding and will drop an average of 80 to 100 million ISK loot. And if they are successfully completed, they'll decrease Anarchy by 20 points and increase development by 10 points. Since it takes 4 days for Anarchy to increase by 20 points, this means that running an MTO once every 3 to 4 days when it becomes available will be enough for a Mercenary Den owner to maintain their dens to prevent any adverse effect on the Skyhook if they so wish. Can't even use the new Deathless Battlecruiser, sad? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, you're right. You can't. You could use the Destroyer, though. That is sad. Or T3. You can't use T3 cruisers. You can't use recons. That actually really sucks. That's going to be, like, that really sucks for the whole, like, I'm hiding here and just prowling this area. I need to trade in my my Legion for, I kind of want to go with a Vedmak, right? We want to do a Vedmak, right? Stratios is still good. That's a good point. That's a good point. Triple credit to Stratios. I think that's going to be my... I should have been with the Stratios in the first place. That's all I learned. To start an MTO, you will need to be undocked in the solar system in which the Mercenary Den is located, and start it from the Opportunities window or from the Mercenary Den window. MTO sites always spawn in the same solar system as where the Mercenary Den is located. A Mercenary Den can have a maximum of 3 MTOs at once, and MTOs last for 4 days after being offered. Wait, that doesn't make any sense, right? Is this a symptom that something has gone weird when it comes to the design? Let me finish reading this, and then we'll... If a Mercenary Den is already maxed out at 4 development, completing an MTO will create 500 bonus infomorphs directly into the Mercenary Den on a completion in place of development reward. This math does not make sense. So every 3 days, you get an MTO. MTOs last for 4 days, but somehow you can stack 3 MTOs at once. So, okay. So 3 days, I put down the I put down the Mercenary Den. 3 days later, I get my first MTO, right? 3 days later, I get my second MTO. 1 day later, my first MTO despawns. And then, wait. No, a Mercenary Den can have a maximum of 3 MTOs at once, but they can't. It would take 9 days for 3 MTOs to be created, 6 days at best, if you count the first one being created as moment 0, and the first one will decay before the third one is created. No, it won't overlap. You could let it go forever, and there will only ever be 2 MTOs per mobile per Mercenary Den, because before the third one can spawn, the first one decays. You can have multiple dens in a system, but each one is going to spawn their own MTOs. Like I said, I think this seems to me like the smoking gun that some of this design got tweaked. Right? This feels like the numbers got changed and somebody didn't really think about the implications of those changes, right? You would think that, like, if it's going to decay after 4 days, then you'd want it to like be every day or every 2 days or whatever, right? That's really odd. Yeah, 2 would make 3 max. It doesn't say per system, though. It says per Mercenary Den. Wait, yeah, it says per Mercenary Den. So theoretically speaking, if I've got 2 Mercenary Dens in the same system, I can have 4 MTOs available. But that's 2 per Mercenary Den. By the time the third one spawns for either of them, the first one will decay. All right, well, that's fun. Maybe approximately. Maybe we're leaning really, really, really hard on the word approximately here. Even if it is 2 days, that means that the third one's spawning right as the second, the third one's spawning right as the first one despawns. So yeah, I don't get this at all. All right, let's move on. Ship and module balance. Ferox Navy issue. Signature radius bonus, or signature radius increased by 25 meter. Yeah, which is, I mean, what? For 1/12, I think. Agility nerfed from 0.66 to 0.69. Again, nice. Yeah, they can use new jitter, but even then, even under the most extreme cases, I would assume that the one would be despawning basically as the first one, or as the third one spawns. But yeah. The Ferox Navy issue is overperforming, so we're increasing the signature radius back to its regular T1 Ferox amount, and then nerfing its agility and targeting range slightly. We're hoping the combination of SIG and agility reduction will make them a bit more vulnerable to battleships and stealth bombers and fleet encounters. The Ferox Navy issue loses the optimal bonus for the regular T1 Ferox, so we're shaving a bit of max targeting range off as well, because the Ferox Navy issue is designed to be a much more closer range fighter than the Ferox. EOS, drone optimal range level bonus reduced from 10% to 5%. Toning down the EOS somewhat, it has 11 mid slots and low slots combined, unlike all other command ships which have 10, which is even more powerful when you consider it as a drone ship. Seeing it start to become a little unhealthy in some places, so reducing the power of the sentry drone fits slightly. Heavy assault cruisers, 50% reduction in microwave drive signature radius penalty, roll bonus added back. In the Uprising expansion, we made significant changes to hacks by removing or reducing long-range bonuses and completely reworking the Munin, which was the most dominant ship in the game at the time. We feel like the meta has shifted now with more battleships and Navy battlecruisers being viable. So we can now add back the 50% micro-warp drive signature radius roll bonus that hacks, which we removed in early 2021. Ashimu. Drone bay and drone bandwidth increased from 40 megabyte to 50 megabit. Max velocity increased from 208 to 215, and agility improved from 0.58 to 0.55. The Ashimu has lower usage than other pirate cruisers, so giving it the ability to field 5 medium drones or 2 flights of light drones, and giving it some small speed improvements. The FNI change is already late. Meta has moved on to vultures already. SCs, can I bring my Munin? This does make me Munin even better as a missile boat in the Abyss. The Scythe. CPU increased from 285 to 300. Power grid increased from 345 to 375. Mask velocity increased from 250 to 260. And agility improved from 0.6 to 0.57. The Scythe has fitting issues, especially since it's an entry-level support cruiser, so giving it a small amount of love here. Also, a bit boosting the ability of the Scythe a bit to try and help it stand out from the Osprey more by improving its strengths. That's good. The Scythe is a really fun ship along with the Executor because they don't rely on other Logi ships to survive, which makes it very kind of sketchy way of being Logi because, you know, there's nobody to help you if you become a target. But yeah, I like Scythe buffs. The Vengeance. Rocket damage per level of a Mar frigate increased from 5% to 7.5%, so 50% increase in that bonus. And power grid increased from 43 to 46. The Vengeance had low usage, so we're giving it a small facelift with some extra damage, but still keeping the Hawk on top with kinetic damage missiles, and a bit more power grid to help it give it some more options. Again, it makes me wonder whether or not the Vengeance is going to be good in the Abyss now, or as good as, because like the Vengeance might, if it's able to put out the correct amount of damage, it might become a very viable option to the Hawk, and that those armor fits are potentially pretty strong in the Abyss otherwise, so could be useful. Kruger. Drone bay and bandwidth increased from 5 M3 to 10 M3 and 5 megabit per second to 10 megabit per second, respectively. Max velocity increased from 330 meters to 340 meters per second, and agility improved from 3.6 to 3.4. The Kruger is underperforming relative to its peers. We're giving it extra drones to bump up its damage potential a bit, but have that DPS be destructible. We are then improving the Kruger's mobility so it can better use the long-range web for catching kiting ships. The Mollusk Navy issue. High slots increased from 2 to 3. Power grid increased from 35 megawatt to 38 megawatt. And max velocity increased from 315 to 325 meters per second. The Mollusk Navy issue currently has 1 less total slots than the other Navy E-War frigates, so we're correcting that by giving it an extra high slot. The hope here is that it'll improve the versatility and open up options like triple newt setups that its brother in spirit, the Tristan, is capable of. Small power boost to help the fit that high slot, and then a small mobility improvement since it is currently the slowest Navy frigate. This is a really good one. The Mollusk Navy issue has been in its odd spot for a very long time. The Mollusk Navy issue was literally created as a weapon, like a gift to the faction warfare players to deal with warp core stabilizers, especially in plexes, in faction warfare plexes. Right? So we had a big problem with people stabbing their ships and just running away. And so the Mollusk Navy issue was provided that gives this big bonus to the number of scram points it has. So it's able to easier lock down people that have warp core stabilizers. Now, since then, they removed warp core stabilizers from their ability to be used in those sites. And so since then, the Mollusk Navy issue has kind of lost its primary purpose. And while it does survive as kind of a gate camp tool, it's still pretty minor, and it certainly isn't something that you're just going to run around and fight in all the time unless your name is Spoons. So Spoons, of course, has his favorite Mollusk Navy issue. Let's see if I can find it. Don't I have one? Here it is. Is this it? Is this fit? It is not. I thought I had one. Nope. Awesome. Okay, well. Nope. Drat. I could probably hunt for it, but here, let's. Where interactions, combat log. Real quick, see if we can find it. Maybe not. Well, either way, you can use the Mollusk Navy issue as a poor man's Tristan, or rather a rich man's Tristan. It's not, it wasn't bad for that, but with this extra high slot, it becomes far nastier. Do I really not have? Wait, am I kidding? I don't. Whatever, man. That's crazy. All right, well, that's lame. I look forward to seeing Spoons running around in a Mollusk Navy issue, and probably will run around with one myself. All right, Rock Wall, excavator mining drones and ice harvesting drones have had their velocity increased. Mining drones go from 175 meters per second to 250 meters per second. Ice harvesting drones go from 90 meters per second to 125 meters per second. Excavator changes are welcome, but won't really have any impact. Waste on them is absurd. Anything you would tolerate waste on is now mined by drills instead. Rock Walls stay firmly in the boost roll. Maybe. I mean, it's funny. Last time we were talking about how, like, theoretically speaking, this could actually be a nerf because of the way that rock walls get used. These things being faster makes it so that the excavator drone can get outside of the interaction range from the rock wall before it's finished mining the ice block, which is not great. Wish it was a cycle time buff instead. Probably would have been good. Yeah. I honestly, I would not even mind if they looked at tweaking the waste a little bit, but I don't know. I think that cycle time might have been good, especially with like the ice harvesting drone. Especially if they're stating that it is a buff, right? Like, also, all exhumers max lock target improved from 6 to 8. The skiff has had its agility improved from 0.8 to 0.64. That's a pretty big improvement. Mid slots increased from 4 to 5. That puts the skiff back into being a good tanker again. When they increased the tanking capability of these ships, they also took away the mid slot of the skiff, which made it technically worse at doing its thing than it was before the buff. So this is going to be sweet. All mining barges had their lock targets improved from 5 to 6. The Procurer has had its agility improved from 8 to 0.64, and its mid slots increased from 2 to 3. We're giving all mining barges and exhumers an extra few lock targets to improve quality of life when mining. Specifically, the Procurer and Skiff are getting significant agility buffs, which will bring down their align times by several seconds each, and an extra mid slot. During the 2022 rebalance, the Procurer and Skiff both lost a slot each total, while the Covenant and Hulk gained one. When we rebalance them around all having the same total number of slots. The Procurer and Skiff also had their agility nerfed a bit too much, and so now we are correcting this and giving them back the slot they lost. Finally, we are improving the speed of excavators to increase their effectiveness when mining, especially when mining further away asteroids, since the Rorqual is now more of a supporting role and excavators are balanced through high wastage. It's such a weird argument, right? Is Eve finally great again, or am I still hopelessly screwed as a solo Amar high-sec fool? I mean, if you're a high-sec player, things haven't really become worse for you. If anything, they're just as fine. Navy faction light fighters, heavy rocket ability charge count increased from 12 to 15. Small buff to Navy fighters doing longer PvE encounters like the Forsaken Sanctums and Teeming Hordes without obsoleting T2 fighters, which still have higher DPS. Balanced around high wastage translated. Don't use this for mining, you goofball. I disagree. I mean, the whole idea that the faster you're balancing yield rate with wastage, so the higher the yield, the higher the wastage, I think makes a lot of sense. It makes it like, if there wasn't waste, then the excavator, like the only reason to not use excavators is if you don't have the money for them, basically, right? There has to be a reason to use it and a reason to not use it. There are times that it's good to use high wastage stuff, and there's times that it's good to use low wastage stuff, period. Not when the stuff you want to mine is in limited spawns. Sure, absolutely. That would be the time that wastage is bad. But that's not always true, especially with anoms that respawn, right? Like there are definitely times where it's like, I don't care about waste. And there are times where you do. Standard Cerebral Accelerator. Remove 20% turret damage boost and 20% missile rate of fire boost, and increase all attributes from 3 to 5. Was being abused by new freshly injected characters to take advantage of the 20% damage boost in ships like Marauders and Dreadnoughts, or PvP Smurf accounts rather than being used by new players. Removing the damage bonus and increasing the attributes on it from 3 to 5 to compensate it, which should make it actually more useful for new players and remove the abuse cases. I think that the other thing you could do is just make it so that the standard Cerebral Accelerator doesn't work if you've got more than 2 million skill points. What's that? Gold ammo boosters are going to be abused? No, it can't be. Well, the whole thing about standard acceleration boosters is that they can't be used if you're over 30 days old. So this idea is that people are actually injecting directly into Marauders like on day 1, and then they have an entire month where they have the ability to have this 20% boost on top of your normal Marauder or Dreadnought damage, which is insane, but expensive. Faction warfare and insurgency balance. Respawn time for NPCs have been significantly increased. In Equinox, we fixed battlefields being cheesed by holding a single battlecruiser or NPC alive. However, with that fix, players feel like battlefields are now too tedious and not rewarding enough, and this has caused a reduction in fighting and PvP in and around battlefields. To address this, we are approximately doubling the time between NPC waves. This is so logical, it makes me surprised that this wasn't done originally. So basically, the problem is that in a battlefield, you have these 3 different positions that are like 100 kilometers away from each other. And each of them have their own timer that is stopped if there are any of the NPCs in them. And so you have to, and as these spin, you increase the overall progress of the site. And if you get them to spin enough, obviously it completes the site, you win, right? Easy peasy. The problem is that, the solution to how to do it before was the battlecruiser orbited you at wide enough of a radius that if you sit in the center, it would orbit outside of the capture point within that position. So you could keep one battlecruiser alive and just let it orbit you and spin the timer. The problem with fixing this is, even with this being true, right? You cheese all 3 sites, so you're spinning all 3 timers. It's still a 30-minute battlefield, right? Even under that optimal condition, a battlefield takes like 30 minutes or more. So by removing that and making it so we have to kill the rats and have new waves come in, the problem is the whole reason why we started cheesing it was because the next wave comes in like less than a minute, right? So it's like you kill them, you get like 1 spin maybe, and then another wave comes in. And so that takes so much more time. So like this would make a battlefield take hour or an hour and a half or more, which makes it not as attractive to people. It isn't worth fighting over if once you've won, it's still a pain in the ass to do, right? So, so this makes it so that you're going to make twice as much progress before the next spawn timer hits. Should be a spawn timer with 3 NPC spawns before finishing. Well, it takes a lot longer than that, but yeah, and also it can be pushed back and forth. I mean, a battlefield could last for a couple of hours if there's enough push back and forth by the various sides. Also, drop rates of encoder splices and decoder packages from faction warfare operation centers have been approximately doubled, and doubled the effectiveness on advantage of propaganda broadcast structures and the listening post objective deployables. This is good. Now, these idea of the encoder splices and decoder packages, they were relatively challenging to find. You could actually go through multiple, like you could go through a site and not find a single one of them in them. That's actually pretty common. And then once you got them, you still had to like turn them into the thing and get the doodads and then take them out to the place and then guard them. And in the end, you got basically a novice plex worth of, or a scout plex worth of rewards for it. And you would get basically the same amount of progress on advantage as if you would run like the site that spawns every 20 minutes, right? So in the end, these things were useful, but only if you like collected a whole bunch of them and you had to run them all back to back to back in a system to push up its advantage. And that's kind of cool, but it took so much to do it that like it was only under very specific cases. This makes the whole thing opened up a lot more. It makes it more useful to do, more valuable to do, and more rewarding for those people who want to go out and hack to find these things. So all of this is really good, in my opinion. Turn the 30-minute capture timer into 3 10-minute capture timers, and each one spawns rats. Same contesting mechanisms instead of getting too many spawns on a single timer. Again, the whole point of the battlefield is the players fighting. So, yeah, I would almost go so far as to say that the rats are almost a secondary factor in the whole thing. It's just there to make sure that you have sufficient DPS and you're not just putting a frigate in each site in order to run the timers, right? So, but I feel like having a limit would potentially cheese it even worse. The rats are there to make sure you aren't AFKing timer. Well, you can still AFK this. No, it's to make sure that you're not attempting to run the timers with insufficient force. Same as in plexes. Because by that right, I could just put a drone ship in the site, and now I'm AFKing the timers. Tether radius on the pirate fobs have been dropped from 100 kilometers to 50 kilometers. A key complaint from anti-pirate players and insurgencies is that pirate fobs have had such a huge tether range that it makes it incredibly difficult to siege, as pirate-aligned players can remain tethered and invulnerable until they want to engage while close to their ships or even long-range setups. So we're bringing it down to a value that should still feel very comfortable for players coming in from a shipcaster, but less powerful as a tool used against players trying to siege the fob. Yeah, can you imagine somebody having to be, you're 100 kilometers away from your structure that you're trying to kill, and a person can be within 10 kilometers of you and tethered? That's not great. So I actually like this change. Hopefully it actually encourages anti-pirates to fight back a little bit more. No matter how they do the timer, someone will fight. Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing, is it's not designed to prevent it from being cheesed. It's just designed to make it so that the site feels good to do. Reduce the number of faction warfare small Navy 5s and small advanced 5 sites. A slight increased amount of small Navy 1 and small advanced ones will appear in their place to keep the potential number of victory points generated per day the same. Reduce the total number of insurgency small advanced 5 sites. Their chance to spawn has been rolled into the increasing number of medium and large advanced 5 sites, which has been spawned instead. The respawn time of all insurgency advanced 5 sites have been increased, slowed down, to keep LP and corruption generation rates similar, with an increased number of medium and large advanced 5 sites spawning. Another common complaint with faction warfare and insurgencies is the amount of multi-boxing destroyers in the war zone. We're trying to address this by shifting the faction warfare sites back towards one-man sites and the insurgency 5-person sites away from smalls and into mediums and larges. We're doing this because it's fairly difficult to contest 5 destroyers inside of smalls with less than 5 pilots, but much easier in mediums and larges where 2 or 3 Navy cruisers, hacks, or one or 2 battle cruisers can engage them. Having slower response but larger, more rewarding 5-person sites will hopefully also increase the number of them that are contested. I really like this idea because I like the idea of going into the war zone with some hacks and running some sites. That sounds fun to me. This helps that. I am so tired of destroyer, like Algos destroyers basically ruining the entire game for everyone. Not that, I mean, the insurgency game, not all of EVE, obviously, but you know, this puts the play and counterplay back into it in a way that I really, really appreciate. Added approximate salvage to the Angel and Garistus. Oh, sorry, appropriate salvage to the Angel and Garistus Fabrex. Hey, what's up, Container Records? I haven't logged in for 6 months. Do I finally have space legs? No. Well, I mean, you can go into the shooter. Exploration. Drone relic sites now appear in class 1 to 3 wormhole space at a similar rate to the existing pirate faction relic sites. Drone relic sites now drop ativums and lowered the overall drop rate of ativums from relic sites. Oh boy. So lowering the overall drop rate of ativums from relic sites, these are already pretty rare, and you required a lot of ativum to get the stuff. There has been some complaints about how long it takes to get these deathless ships, although as we saw earlier, obviously people are getting these deathless ships, and I think it's fine for there to be something that we work towards, right? I think that a big piece of this that they're not really talking about is that they're over time shifting the focus of how we get these ships. Yeah, exactly what the wizard is saying. We're phasing it from ativums towards encrypted infomorphs, right? So they just dramatically increased the amount of encrypted infomorphs that will be being produced over time, up to 50% more, although probably not every single fucking mercenary then is going to be at full development, but you get what I'm saying. And so less of them are going to be coming from ativum. Calling it now deathless ships will be nerfed hard in 4 months when peak grind to get the base is passed. I mean, it's possible. I haven't heard very much people with the fact that these ships are out there right now. I have not heard too much about how, oh my God, ridiculously overpowered they are in practice. So I don't know. I don't know if they need to be yet. Homefront operations. Structure bashing NPCs and emergency aid sites will now orbit their targets at closer range. Repair effects are now less effective on structures within emergency aid sites. That's weird. So they're going to orbit closer. So I don't really know the impact of that. I mean, it can be real strong. It's a pirate battlecruiser. Pirate battlecruisers can be strong. Well, could be. I wouldn't mind a battle report, though. But repair effects are now less effective. So you're going to need more repairs in order to finish the site. Little things. We continue to work on little things. Small quality of life improvements requested by you. Please suggest through the little things small quality of life suggestions. It is now possible to cancel all repairs in the right-click menu when you're repairing multiple modules with nanite repair paste. Little thing, good. Capsule kill mails with implants will now have a buy all button if you want to multi-buy the implants. Also, good. Those of you who have ever lost their really good pod, the extra insult is having to like manually extract the data of each of the implants, so that way you can buy them all in order. So this helps with that. The name of the player corpse item will now be shown in contracts and show info windows rather than the generic corpse type. Really good. Can't scam people for the wrong corpse. You can now compress resources such as ore, gas, and ice directly from the right-click option instead of opening the compression window. Hallelujah! Why did the compression window exist in the first place? That's what I want to know. Why did the compression window exist in the first place? I'm just glad that they fixed it. If you linked something in here, Oki, I don't see it. You're probably going to have to DM me in Discord for me to see it. While undocked, assets in your current system will now be highlighted in the assets window. Hey, look at that. So Dixie's highlighted, even though I don't have a route there. That's pretty cool. Double clicking on a transaction in the market transaction tab of the wallet now opens up the regional market window for that item. So hold on. If I, on a transaction and market transactions, so I'm going to open up it's in the wallet, I guess, right? Open up the wallet. Market transactions. Double click. Hey! It opens it up in the thing. And I can see, oh, look at this. I also have it highlighted here. Look, this is the system that I'm in. That's kind of cool. You can now drag buy or sell orders from the Your Market window straight into the Market quick bar. So if I open up the Market window, I go here, I can go like, wait, hold on. What did it say? Hold on. You can now drag buy or sell orders from the oh, okay. So let's view market details. Wait, modify order. Wait, is this isn't my order, is it? Hold on. Market orders. Oh, it is my order. Okay, cool. So then I can go here and look at my market orders and be like, drag and drop. Boom. Ding. Okay, cool. Added a new output location column for the industry window so that you can now see what container and which office hangar, if it's a corp job, your jobs will be outputted to. So if I go to my industry window, boo. All right, let's go ahead and look. Sinister. This is how I get my my stuff done. Is I have all these old filaments that I can still produce. Ready? And boop. Hey! I got my daily goal for the day done. But now I can go to the jobs thing and see. Oh, output location. There it is. Check it out. Output location. Hangar. So I can see where it's going to be outputted to. That's nice. Hey, Zoe. You want to come say hi again? He looks tired. Yeah? You want up? Uppies? Uppies? Ugh. Yes. Good girl. All right. Next. Added a mark as read option to mails and notifications. Okay. So if I want to go into my mail and see, I can just mark it as read. Okay, cool. The yield range and cycle time for gas cloud scoops and gas cloud harvesters have been added to the tooltips of the modules. We can look up a scoop. What did they say? It is yield, range, and cycle time. So we can see yield, cycle time, and range. Those weren't on there before? Huh. Corporations that you have 0 LP within your personal wallet or corp are now hidden. Check the tooltip in the ship fitting window. Are you a gas huffer? No. Are you a gas huffer? Yes. Yep, this shows, wait. Yeah, optimal range 1500, 40 M3 per 30 seconds. So there you go. That new? Okay. So there you go. That's what they added. Corporations, added a dedicated Neocom icon for the overview so you can now more easily see it in the Neocom and the control tab window when you have it minimized. So that is actually a big pro tip. You know, if you ever have a window hidden, like let's say you hide the overview like that and you're like, oh no, where's my overview? Control tab works like Alt tab does in the real world. So you can control tab and see all the different stuff, right? And now the overview has its own icon. Can we figure out which icon it is? It's this one, right? So if I go to this one, I can pop back open my overview. Also, you can see, I move this slightly. You can see over here, right? Oh yeah, it doesn't show up yet. If I minimize this again, we'll see, look, there's the overview icon right there, which is nice. People losing their overview happens far more than you would think if you pay attention to rookie chat. Boom, boom, boom. The input fields for courier contracts have been made bigger, and the left panel may now be expanded so you can see larger values more easily. I don't need to check on that. Added checkboxes for courier contract filters so you can now more easily search for unfiltered results without having to delete the info from the filter fields. Oh, hold on. That's actually kind of a cool one. Let's see if what that means. So if we go into finance and contracts, what is it? Add it. So courier contract filters. Oh. Courier contract filters. Got it. So now there's checkboxes so you can turn it on and off these requirements. That's cool. Sounds like the overview should be locked by default. Unlock at your own risk. I mean, maybe. I think it's making it more visible once it's gone is a good idea. And getting the knowing how to control tab is probably a really good thing too. Yeah, you can also still minimize the locked window. All right. You can now copy names of item types in info windows and the market window. So if I go to the market window and I look up, no, 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 no. I can grab it from here. I thought I could do that before. Copy names of item types in info windows in the market window. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I can select it and then hit Control C and then Control V and it pastes the text. That's what that does. You can now edit bookmarks through the radial menu while using the solar system map. The solar system map would be this map, I'm assuming. And there's a bookmark, and I can radial off of it, and I get nothing of use. I mean, I can radial off of it. It just isn't doing anything. What? You can now edit bookmarks through the radial menu while using the solar system map. This feels like the solar system map. I can radial, but it doesn't give me any option to do anything with that radial. Am I missing something? Let me know. Next, you can now drag and drop items onto the Neocom item hanger icon to move them. That's pretty cool. Added the number of jumps a system, which is a point in your current autopilot route. If you added the number of jumps a system, which is a point in your current autopilot route, is if you mouse over it. So if I come over here, let's move this back over here so that way we can see it. And I go, okay, well, Intaki. Let's go ahead and set destination to Intaki. 18 jumps for me. And I can hover over any given one and see, hey, look, this one 13 jumps. That one's 16 jumps. That one's 4 jumps. Neat. You are now able to buy from more than one sell order at a time from buy this type window. Oh my God, that's so good. I wonder how that's going to work. So like usually when you do buy this type, it's going to buy like all of the ones that are available in the one block and then just fail to buy everything else, right? So in theory here, I can go like, okay, go on the market and find something like real simple, like ammo, right? Ammunition, small hybrid, null, right? So we've got, I don't need that many. Let's find something with a small quantity. Set a small quantity. I guess 5,000 is a small quantity. Ah, perfect. Okay, great. So I'm going to buy this type, and I'm going to buy it at 940, which means I'm paying extra, but I'm going to buy 2,000 of them, which normally would have just bought the first set and then not bought any more after that. Boom. It bought all of them. That's cool. Yeah, it used to be that you would have ended up with like however many missiles were in the first block or whatever, and then that's it. It would just be like, and now you're done. It made it so that a lot of people ended up with like partially built fits because you just hit buy all and then go, and then it didn't actually buy it all. you can now deliver corp items to yourself in the Deliver to right-click menu, which is good. Multiple skills can now be moved around in the skill queue. I saw people freaking out about this one. People are super excited about this one. Let's see what it means. This might be something Oz is working on with the CSM stuff. That's possible. Wow, I have emptied my training queue. Holy crap. All right. Let's add some sequencing stuff. Okay. But now I want to move all of this stuff above LiDAR sensor compensation. Okay, that is pretty slick, right? That is good. That's really good. I like that. You can select multiple of them and then move it down to the bottom. Sweet. Shame. Dude, I have 284 million skill points. What do you want in my skill queue? I'm just saying. I'm getting close to the bottom of the barrel at the moment. Like all specializations and shit now. Where is Starship Command? Galente Freighter, Interdictor 5. Wait, I have a Mars Strategic Cruiser 4, and I'm flying around in a Legion? What the hell? I guess that is only overheat bonus, huh? Imitar Carrier. Eancom Frigate. Oh, I could get level 5 Exhumers. Sure, why not? All right. Sorry. LOL rigging skills. My rigging skills, I have 5 million out of 7 million total rigging skills. Oddly enough, I have jury rigging 4. Wait a minute. Why do I have jury rigging 4? Wait. I guess because it doesn't matter? Is that an industry requirement? Yeah, I don't build stuff with this character. No, it does do stuff for industry. Yeah. So my industry character would have it, but not Ash. Okay. Multi-buy can now interpret 1 times item name. Oh, so basically that's like if you copy and paste stuff, this is now an acceptable format, which is nice. PvE, the Deathless Circle has deployed planetary trust breaker arrays to steal passkeys for planetary defense networks ahead of the Vanguard assaults. These sites have fallen under attack by drifter forces. Deathless Trustbreaker under attack sites are appearing in pirate insurgency FOB systems, so the heart of the insurgency. Capsuleer fleets can choose to protect the Trustbreaker array for the duration to receive a reward from the Deathless. 5 Capsuleers are recommended for this challenge. Alternatively, those who do not wish to support the Deathless can wait for the structure to generate PDN passkeys before destroying it. Many groups would pay handsomely for such commodities seized from the wreckage. Regardless of their motivations, Capsuleers are limited to bringing standard T1 cruisers or below within the site. I guess they buffed the scimitar or the scythe. Yeah, just in time. Sequencing, Skinner sequencing. Sequencing is returning to its original time duration. Oh yeah, because they cut the time in half. Added an indicator for new skins in your Paragon Hub collection. Added indicators for new design elements in your collection in Skinner. Adjusted the placement of randomized button in Studio Skinner. Improved communication for insufficient design elements in Studio Skinner. Observatory flashpoints fixed an issue which could cause sites to fail to progress within the stellar observatory area. Any lingering NPCs or subpylons will now be despawned following a downtime, and acceleration vectors will now always relock following a downtime. Probably just minor doodads from them tweaking with it. Graphics. Fix an issue with the Skinner pattern gizmo not fully reaching -90 degrees on the vertical orbit when using the pattern manipulation shortcuts. Fix an issue where Skinner button in the ship info window always open the Skinner for the currently boarded ship. Fix an issue where own branded listings incorrectly displayed a warning about insufficient Evermarks. All right, well, and that is it for this patch. There is a lot here, obviously. I'd like to know what in here is your favorite, or if there's something that they missed. I personally am a big fan of the hack bonus. Not a big fan of both content coming out not allowing hacks, but yeah, I'm very interested in going and doing some of these sites in the or in the Deathless or in the fob systems. So if you're interested in coming with us, make sure to join our Discord, which is going to be linked in the chat. I think it is also down below in the description. The compression changes are shift kiss. The compression window should have never existed. All right. Next, before we go on to Vanguard, we do have a New Eden news. So we're going to get started with that. We are 1 hour and 12 minutes away. We're going to start as if this is going to be a whole new segment. So I'm going to do a brand new intro, brand new exit, but we're not going to end the stream at the end of the exit. This is just for the YouTube, for the edited video. Compression window would be better if it auto-updated with compressible materials in the targeted hold. I mean, yeah, but like... Yeah, that could have been fine. I still think right-click compress is such a logical thing that the fact that there's an entire extra window is just kind of confusing. Anyway, so by the way, I am curious to know. I do go back through and edit these New Eden news to cut out all my ums and pauses and stuff. I hope that's appreciated to everybody. But let us begin. Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and this is your New Eden news for November 26th, YC126. Infomorph transport illegality causes deathless pivot as trust breakers attacked. Concord ruling means victory for Upwell. Concord's inner circle has passed a motion declaring hardware Infomorph's transportation without a legal associated body a violation of the ULI Accords. The decision was celebrated by member corporations of the Upwell Consortium, all of which have been lobbying for the motion to pass. It is based on articles of the ULI Accord introduced by the Jovian Directorate during the founding conference of YC0. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. That's not right. That's not right. Right? That's not right. Nope, that's not going to be it. Oh, man. The ULI convention was a couple of years before the Yule conference. So the ULI convention didn't happen in YC0. Am I wrong? Huh. Weird. Carrying on. These articles were inspired by the one mind, one body principle, a key tenet of Jovian society. According to this principle, a sentient mind must always have a single associated body, and each human body must be associated with no more than one mind. When an encrypted mind is transferred to a physical storage illegally at mercenary dens, its Upwell workforce body is lost. According to Upwell, this means that during the period of transportation, the mind has no legally associated body and is in violation of the ULI Accords. This is different from, for example, war clone transit, in which infomorphs are stored separate from their bodies, but an associated body legally exists. The Jovian Directorate left the Concord Assembly during the Jovian departure of YC117. As the holders of their seats and critics of the Deathless Circle, the Society of Conscious Thought was delighted by the decision. A founding principle of our shared civilization has been upheld, said Elder Mentor Matashi Reich, the SOCT representative seat holder of the Concord Inner Circle. So often is our cluster divided. Let us enjoy this moment and celebrate the essential humanity that unites us all. Legal scholars have expressed some concerns over the hasty ruling. According to a professor of interstellar law at the University of Cali, Laura McLintock, today's ruling could be the first step down a slippery slope. Now that transporting stored infomorphs is illegal, it opens up the way for future challenges to backup clones. Concord was quick to dismiss this claim when approached, stating that it is false rhetoric to conflate these two entirely different cases. Deathless Circle scrambles to release Merc Den update. Over 4,090 Merc Dens have reportedly been deployed since the designs were first released by the Deathless earlier this month. The Infomorph Transportation Law directly targets those dens where the extraction and transportation of encrypted infomorphs have been taking place. The Deathless Circle was quick to respond by broadcasting a firmware update to all dens. This update appears to be based on the research into encrypted infomorphs that have already requested passage into the Warden in Zarzak. Following the update, the TEBS suites inside Merc Dens will no longer extract infomorphs onto physical storage and will instead use the same kind of remote transfer employed by Capsuleers. This method was previously impossible due to Upwell's restrictive encryption, but now has been unlocked with the usage of infomorph decryption keys. These decryption keys will generate on-site at mercenary dens by non-invasive scans of workforce clones. The keys can then be uploaded to the Warden in Zarzak, allowing it to decrypt infomorphs remotely as they are transferred. This will enable the successful remote transfer directly from the TEBs of any willing infomorph. In addition to upgrading their transfer capabilities, the new firmware has enabled mercenary dens to assign tactical operations. With these changes, the scope expects that New Eden will continue to see den deployment despite Upwell's legal victory. Deathless Trustbreakers attacked. New Deathless Trustbreaker arrays have been spotted throughout pirate FOB systems. These sites, which appear to be deployed by the Deathless Wraiths agents, are actively hacking local PDN planetary defense networks. If these networks fail, it would open up planets to ground assaults and manual overriding of terrestrial PDN systems. As such, it is suspected that Deathless's goal is to open up positions from Vanguard assaults. Whether these assaults will be carried out on behalf of pirate insurgents or mercenary counter-pirate forces seems to vary widely, with the implication being that both sides of the conflict may rely on the Deathless-developed Vanguard war clones. Space-time fluctuations observed by the SOCT initiates indicate that many of these trust breakers are under attack from drifter forces, partially caused by a remote link to the Warden in Zarzak. Deathless Wraiths are offering rewards for support at these sites to pro-Deathless Capsuleers, but these attacks also create opportunities to those who do not wish to support the Deathless to target and destroy their infrastructure. Concord has issued an official statement urging Capsuleers to choose wisely and not assist on the side towards in the slide towards chaos. Choose wisely and not assist in the slide towards chaos. News in brief. The 10th anniversary of Caroline Star incident marked by a vigil for those who died in Thera. Harada Oki Caravan Master Malaya Harada joins Volakat Caravan leadership and SOE Revan Mother Sentimona Sarpati at vigil. Surge in black market spirit sales and Mindclash popularity reported following the rise of Merc Dens. Royal Heir Ursira Corazor opens largest ever commoners library of the scriptures on Corazor Prime. Heir celebrates creation of over 5,000 corp projects since update launched. Iris pops rare spiced wine vintage at press conference as Capsuleer Cicada Adisic sequence 1,002 pattern skin. 1,000th 2 pattern skin. Equinox Colony insiders leak that equipment theft has escalated to violent raids attacks by parties unknown. Agency Mercenary Network rumors to have purchased large quantities of Vanguard war clone Canoptics from Deathless Circle. And that is it for your New Eden News for November 26th, YC126. And now for some analysis. As I said earlier, I think that this might actually be an error. I don't think that the ULI Accord happened in YC0. I think it was 2 years prior. I could be wrong. I'd have to go double check. The SOCT are, in fact, the current members of the Concord Assembly on behalf of the Jovian Directorate. This happened in YC117 with the Inheritance Chronicle. And yeah, I'm very confused by this because it feels like there's two different things. First of all, making them illegal, like there's no patch notes, there's nothing about them becoming actually illegal in game. So I'm not sure exactly what this means. But also this stuff about it being broadcasted directly to the Warden, makes me wonder why we're even having to scoop the encrypted infomorphs out of the mercenary dens in the first place. It sounds to me like the mercenary dens should just accumulate infomorphs and then transmit them directly to the warden without us having to scoop them. So you should just be able to drop a mercenary den and it just start shunting infomorphs towards the warden. But Deathless being Concord compliant with the new update. Yeah, I mean, but again, like, this doesn't make any sense because all of this entire post is here, but we're still doing the same thing. We're still putting down a skyhook and then collecting the infomorphs out of the skyhook and then bringing that to the warden, right? Like, it doesn't, I'm not sure where they're going with this. If anybody has an explanation, please let me know. Obviously, the new trust breaker array is the sites that are happening during this time. They're called keys now? Wait. Okay, hold on. So if we go to HoboLeaks and we see strings. You're right. It goes from an encrypted infomorph to an encrypted infomorph decryption key. Got it. So we're just trying to get infomorph decryption keys now instead of infomorphs. Same thing, but different. Encrypted infomorphs have had their base price reduced to 0 and their group ID changed to the same group ID as passkeys, which is commodities, right? No, it turns into, I don't know. That's so weird. They're not changing the size of them either. I don't understand what the point of all of this is. But either way. Cool. Special edition commodities. Ah. Yeah, but it's like, why go through all of this just to change the name? That's what I want to know. There must be something else coming. Maybe. I don't know. But in the New Eden news, the other thing is that, like, so there's a vigil in Thera. The Volakot caravan was the caravan that was very tightly associated with Thera and the Caroline or the Apocrypha event. So it is also interesting that Malaya Harada, who is the head of the Harada Oki, which is the Deathless Circles, is still welcomed in Thera. And they point out that she's there with the Reverend Mother Santamona Sarpati, which is interesting because the SOE also got called out for receiving the tech from the Deathless. If you remember, we talked about this before. The Deathless created the net resonators. They gave it out to people. The SOE got called out for accepting them, even though Mortis Legion also accepted them, but nobody said a peep about those. So yeah. Other than that, I think this is all just mostly flavor and looking into the Vanguard stuff that is happening starting this weekend. So I hope that's about it. If there's anything I missed, please let me know down below. But with all that said, this has been your New Eden news and analysis for November 26th, YC126. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. All right. Woo. All right. Deathless changing it to guarantee that they get the data and the keys are just approved. Yeah, but why even have to bring the keys anymore? The gate to paradise Yosef is referring to is italic and static gates that they were messing around with in Thera. Well, so he says that the gates to paradise slammed shut at about the time that the Jovian stargates shut off. So yeah, I think that you're right. Okay. And last but not least for today, Vanguard patch notes. So this is the thing that's coming this weekend. We've got the Vanguard shooter update coming. It looks like it's going to be really cool. New feature, the star map. Vanguard can now select deployments across New Eden. Deployment opportunities rotate as forward operating bases enter or leave orbit above crash sites. This is actually interesting given the fact that the timing of this event, like, this Vanguard event is going to be shorter than most of the invasions or insurgencies. So, like, I don't know how much this is going to attack things. We still don't 100% know if these are going to be related to those trust breaker sites that we're spawning. So maybe if a trust breaker site is completed, then that unlocks these things. Not 100% sure what it means by these deployment opportunities rotating, given the fact that the insurgencies themselves aren't necessarily going to change over that quickly. But when insurgencies erupt in New Eden systems, these will become active for Vanguard operations, allowing players to engage and make their mark on the wider conflict. I hope you can set up custom key mapping or won't be able to play again. Oof. Well, yeah, I don't know. 9v9 PvP faction warfare skirmish. Choose to fight as either pirate or anti-pirate forces and impact the balance of power in ongoing insurgencies in New Eden. Vanguard forces must capture and hold orbital cannons to unleash powerful strikes against enemy mobile command centers, turning the tide of battle with each controlled. We saw pictures of that, of them shooting the MCCs and stuff. It looks kind of cool. Hopefully they update it and doesn't use just stand-in graphics, but they probably will. Just because, as I've said before, a lot of times you want to use stand-in graphics when you're doing testing, so that way nobody's confused and thinks it's the final result, you know? Multi-stage manufacturing between deployments. Item blueprints can now be acquired from the black market and fabricated into vital chipsets, ammunition, and equipment. New resources and items added to balance across 4 map variants, meaning players will need to explore all of them to build all of the powerful items. And full icon pass on all items, equipment, and resources. I wish we could get more information about what kind of multi-stage manufacturing we're going to have. NPC militia. Wonder what made them change it from a team survival extraction to 9v9 style. They didn't change it. It has both now. You have the survival extraction where you go and get resources, and then you have your 9v9 fights where we use resources in order to win fights for our team. They're both happening. NPC militia, local resistance forces, skilled. Yeah, they're slowly adding more mission types. Hey, 07, thank you for that. Local resistance forces skilled in ambushing Vanguard and Upwell troops. Raider scouts, ranged fighters armed with Core 80s. Breachers, explosive experts armed with grenades. Oh yeah, baby, we got grenades, yeah! Ghosts, aggressive melee fighters armed with knives. Nova knives, yeah! NPC, I'm sorry, I'm so excited about that, about grenades. Upwell drones deployed to protect workforce operations and assets. Sweeper drones, surveillance and detection drone. Guardian, shielded primary combat drone. Reaper, proximity explosive drone. And Sentinel, Boss drone. Shielded high durability defense. Spawns Reapers and deals AoE melee. That sounds fun. We'll eventually get probably Dust 514 style combat missions sometime in the future too, almost certainly. 4 map variants across 2 environments. Each map variant features unique weather, activities, contracts, NPC configurations, and resources. Carrion is back. That's the first map that we had. Not seen since First Strike. Solstice returns with significant visual improvements and fixes. Maelstrom is added, which is a Solstice variant that is in a monsoon weather effect. And Aftermath, which is the Carrion variant with striking daytime lighting. Maelstrom and Aftermath were named by the community, by the way. Extensive visual and gameplay improvements have been applied to both variants. Hopefully this will improve gameplay ability for people without tippy-top of the line tippy-top machines. Activities: contraband. Construct and sustain a stealth field for dropships, enabling covert transportation of contraband cloning materials found within large containers on Carrion's surface. Defend against Upwell troops attempting to intercept and prevent your smuggling operations. Sounds fun. Fluid mining. Refine valuable solvent found on Solstice and Maelstrom surfaces into valuable manufacturing resources for dropship extraction. And offshore mining. Call down and calibrate offshore mining vessels for valuable rewards. So contraband is on Carrion, and fluid and offshore mining is on Solstice. And they updated the music. What's been improved? Personal mining. Personal mining has been completely reimagined. We saw that before where there's multiple layers and there's crystals and you have to use the correct crystal on the correct layer. The banana gun is no more. New cutting tool mesh has been added along with impact and laser VFX and SFX. The cutting tool can now be loaded with multiple mining crystals. Mining crystals must be matched to the surface material for optimal mining efficiency. The adaptive weaponry system has been expanded to the cutting tool, allowing players to upgrade it with manufactured or looted chipsets. And a new AR prompt highlights cuttable objects. Why make one type of shooter game when you can just make them all? Yeah, I mean, the whole point is a shooter, like, what does EVE Online look like from a first-person perspective, right? How many different ways can you interact with the universe in a first person with a gun? Deployment flow. Complete new deployment flow that adds more context and narrative while bringing the menus more in line with the vision of the UI from updated styles, icons, buttons, and more across the game. Intro video sequence syncing and fulcrum interface. I was going to add that to the video today at the very beginning. Forgot to do that. My bad. I'll do that when we do the shooter video. Full inventory, persistent, and baking. All manufacturing items from player inventory can now be extracted or banked. Players can add any of their items' equipment from their deployment hold, which is transported along with the Vanguard down to the planet's surface. NPC versus NPC combat. Upwell troops can now be found battling militia forces in various locations on Maelstrom. So that's only Maelstrom, which is only one of the two. That's the monsoon mode of Solstice. Throwables. Locust grenades now available to Vanguard war clones for manufacturing and crafting. If you've watched any of my stuff about Vanguard, from the very first day, I've been saying, my kingdom for grenades. God, I can't wait for this. I'm going to get blown up so bad. Upgraded textures and loot. New high-quality escape pods, new high-quality shipwreck and planet panels, new loot crates with full, partially full, and empty states. So many times I've wished I had a grenade. I know, right? Nova Charge deployables now available to Vanguard war clones. So I guess a bomb. Deployables can now be prepared for deployment from the radial menu while in session. The contract system has been overhauled, featuring several new objective types. Contracts now draw from a diverse randomized objective pool, increasing mission variety. And each contract includes 3 objectives, rewarding players with credits for each completed objective and a bonus for completing all 3. So much more robust kind of contract style where you're going in and you're trying to, like, it's not just do one thing and then get another contract. It's like that one contract could last you the whole thing, maybe. Vanguard can now brutally stab enemies with a Nova knife. Holy shit! Game on! Nova knives and grenades. We're back, baby. Dust 514 celebrates. Dust 514 sends its regards. All right. Visual improvements to the threat visor, making enemies stand out. Death immolation. When killed, Vanguard war clones or this is interesting. When killed, Vanguard war clones and humanoid NPCs immolate into a nanite cloud, which is how biohybrids are collected automatically by walking into the cloud. We have no idea what biohybrids are, but apparently that's one of the resources that we now need to collect for stuff. Spawning. Improved spawn rules, so Vanguards now spawn a minimum distance from enemy players. Finally can be stealthy and a ninja. Yeah! I was kind of concerned when they were saying that the enemy had Nova knives, but now we can have Nova knives too? Hell yeah! We just need cloaks now. Don't inhale when walking into the cloud. What is it? Vanguard dust. Don't inhale that. Will it blend? All right. Full sound effects soundscape pass on Solstice Monsoon. Improvements to weapon audio for all fire modes and fire rates. Projectiles whiz-by updates and improvements. Height-based audio obstruction. Fixed improvements for existing activities, secure salvage and mining rights. Dust Bunny just got a whole different meaning. Yeah, that's true. End of season report improvements and fixes and upgraded to Unreal version 5.4.4. Wait, hold on. Latest Unreal Engine version. It is 5. Okay. Where are we at with Unreal? For some reason, I thought they had moved on to 6. News? We're at 5.5. Hold on. So they are updating it to... So they updated it to 5.4.4 when Unreal just updated earlier this month to 5.5. That's... Oops, forgot to do this. That's actually super aggressive. That might sound like weird to people that haven't ever done this, but like normally you do not develop on like the bleeding edge version of the editor, right? Because you want to have as stable of a platform as possible. So the fact that they even updated to 5.4 when 5.5 was just released is an incredibly aggressive update rate. So no, they didn't update to 5.5. They updated to 5.4, 5.4.4. So they're one version behind Unreal's latest. I don't know whether or not 5.5 gives it anything that they would have needed. But yeah, normally you would see, like, I would expect them to be on like an LTE, like an older, like a 5.1 even or something like that, Unreal Engine. But 5.4 means that this is, in my opinion, that implies that they are assuming that this is still fairly early in development. So maybe Unreal is promising stability. Could be. I could just be used to Unity and Android, where like you want to, like, if Android releases a new release, you're like, oh look, there's some new features I get to play with in 2 years. Anyway, what's been fixed? Misplaced and unreachable objects, interactables in both environments. Fixed collision issues in both environments. There are several of those. Fixed issues where Fixed issues where escape key will not work to go back in some UI menus. I remember that. Fixed low repo servers and client crashes. Fixed low repo server and client crashes. I don't know what a low repo server is, but less crashes is good. Fixed issues with squad invites, favorites UI. Fixed issue where enemy squads could spawn next to each other. Fixed audio issues with single and burst fire chipset models. Fixed issue with inventory UI in sessions. Fixed issue with inconsistencies with persistence of items extracted. Fixed an issue where equipping multiple semi-auto chipsets would fire multiple bullets. That was fun. That was fun. That was a fun one. I liked that one. Oh well. Fixed issues with the setting windows. Fixed first and third person animations. Issues with the Vanguard suit. Fixed issues with NPC animations. A number of performance fixes and optimizations. One of the things I find really odd about this is that they didn't mention a new model for the Vanguard clones, even though, like, you know, we're supposed to be getting, well, I mean, I guess supposed to is a strong word, right? But like, I assume that this is what the Vanguard clones are going to look like now, right? Like they did this whole thing of like the ghost skull face. So who knows? We'll see. But that's it for the update for Vanguard. Let me know if you are checking out Vanguard this weekend. If you've tried Vanguard before? If your computer can't handle it, what do you like to see? Is this what you've been wanting to see from Vanguard? Honestly, this feels like it's almost a game, right? You've got 2 different game modes. You can collect stuff and build stuff. You've got Nova knives and grenades. This almost feels like it could be theoretically argued to be a real game now. All we need is multiple guns, maybe someday. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. But with all that said, I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. Until next time, I'll see you in space. Ooh, okay, that was just in case I decided to cut that segment out too. I don't know. How's it going, guys? So my idea of yeeting out to nullsec right now is kind of kiboshed, given the fact that I now can't use... I just realized during the stream that a Legion isn't going to work for me. So I'm going to have to get a Stratios ready to go and then get back out there. Unfortunately, we're going to have to see how things go over the next couple of days. I'm going to try to get this thing deployed and have something to report back to you on. Maybe on Thursday. Maybe Thursday I'll be able to stream again. It is Thanksgiving, but I'm probably going to be staying home with my puppy. So I'll probably be able to be on stream tomorrow or on Thursday. Not 100% sure. If you want to get the latest information, make sure to be on the Discord, which I will link again. If you're new to EVE Online or you've never gotten your 1,000,000 free skill points, here is your link to get 1,000,000 free SP. It supports the channel. If you do want to support the channel, do so by liking the stream, sharing it with friends. If you want to take the next step, you can always become a member, supporter, or patron. You get different perks and my eternal gratitude. You know, we're getting up to Christmas time, so you guys make it available for me to be able to do this, make this content for you as my job, and still have food for my pets and gifts for my boy. And I really, 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 really appreciate that, guys. And so, you know, if you see somebody with a green name or those people that do help out, you know, they're the reason why this is possible. So thank you very much to them. If you are looking, we do have some merch, including, might I recommend, if you have a software developer in your life, I have my software developer not equal tech support t-shirt, or hoodie or backpack or whatever. Get that for the software developer in your life. Give them a good chuckle, especially as we're getting closer to the holidays, where family members will, of course, assume that because you know about computers, you can fix theirs, and let them know right away with your passive-aggressive, not a tech support t-shirt. I need to get one for myself still. Damn it. But let's see. Anything else? Oh, yeah. I don't have anything big to talk about with with the Eve Galaxy Conquest stuff right now. I do want to make some extra guides. If you have any tips or anything, that you should send it in. I released my last tip guide. I'm going to edit out the next one and put it out soon. But for those of you who cannot wait, here is your tip of the day. If you want to be useful to your team, it does not matter if you are behind. It does not matter if you are, you know, whatever. If you want to be useful to your corporation, show up to sieges with siege fleets, okay? You can turn any ship into a siege fleet. Some ships are better at sieging than others. Some pilots are better at sieging than others. But if you are not one of the top 10 or so people in your corporation, you probably don't need to send very much as far as like escort military fleets. And it doesn't really matter if your siege fleets are kind of weak comparatively. Just make sure to get them out there, because siege fleets do their siege damage no matter what. So that allows the strong people to take out the fleet, the escort fleets, and the siege fleets get to work. Not enough people send siege fleets to rallies. Send siege fleets. Make your corporation love you. I have 2 different corporations and 2 different servers that are currently threatening people who are not participating and helping out. You want to participate, you want people to love you, even though you're a little bit behind, send siege fleets. That's your advice of the day. Rig them for siege too. I'm going to give you a bigger guide about that in soon, but that's your top tip for today. I'm not your average software developer. I'm your workplace support expert. I don't know about, yeah, reversible jacket. That'd be pretty cool. All right. With all that said, the real ending now. Thank you all for coming. I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming, checking it out, liking the stream, hanging out, giving comments, participating in stuff, joining the convocation, getting out there and doing insurgencies with us, mining in our fleets. Whatever it is that you do, thank you. I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. Until next time, I'll see you in space. You can message me on Discord, but buy my merch!
Bring on the wrecking machine.
Don't forget, New Eden News just released.